Buying a lens is neither an easy nor a superficial matter. Some may argue that it's more important than the camera itself. If you're looking to upgrade your current lens or add a new one to your equipment, you can find yourself lost in a sea of possibilities. One of the most common difficulties photographers face is deciding between a prime and a zoom lens, or choosing between a compact camera with a fixed prime vs a zoom lens. The thing is, there's really no straight answer as to which one is best. It all depends on your needs and preferences. I know that this alone isn't a helpful answer, so let me explain what these two types of lenses are and, more importantly, the advantages of each. Keep eyes on this video. What is a prime lens? A prime lens is one where you cannot change the focal length, i.e., the field of view is fixed. Unlike a zoom, getting your subject closer or further away is only possible by physically moving. This has some other implications aside from the magnification of the subject. When the distance between the camera and subject changes, you have to consider more factors. What is a zoom lens? As you might have guessed already, zoom lens is a movable focal length. This means that by moving the optical elements inside the lens, you can change the angle of view. Sometimes this means that you can have three types of lenses in one: a wide-angle lens, a normal lens, and a telephoto lens. For example, with a 35-105 zoom lens would cover the whole range. Advantages of prime lenses? I believe some zoom lenses can deliver the same level of quality. Not all of them though, which brings me to the first advantage of prime lenses. Price. Obviously, there's a wide variety of prices in both prime and zoom lenses, but as a general rule of thumb, prime lenses are less expensive. At least they are if you're talking about the price-quality ratio. A good prime lens will be cheaper than a good zoom lens. So, if the budget is tight, it's usually better to get a great prime lens than an average zoom. It will give you better quality and sharper images. Weight. Prime lenses are much lighter than zooms because they have fewer optical components inside. This might sound like a shallow consideration in choosing the right gear, but there are two arguments I could say in defense of it. First, the quality will not suffer, and often it will be higher than with a zoom. Therefore, you're not compromising your work or your images by including the weight into the decision-making process. Second, a heavy lens is not a minor issue. If you're going without a specific photographic target in mind, you might not want to carry heavy gear with you. As a result, you could end up missing some great shots. Additionally, if you do decide to bring it along, at some point you're going to get tired and you won't be as focused. You're probably just going to be thinking about going home to rest. Wider aperture. Thanks to the amazing developments by manufacturers, nowadays you can find some fast zoom lenses that make this gap smaller. But still, they haven't reached the wider apertures that you can get with prime lenses. For example, some of the fastest zoom lenses can offer an aperture of f2 at a very high price. See the Canon 28-17 RF, for example. In general, a fast professional zoom keeps a maximum aperture of f2.8 throughout all its focal lengths. The most common will offer an aperture of f3.5 on the shortest end and f5.6 when zooming in. You may have one of these kit zoom lenses after purchasing your first DSLR. Creativity. Some photographers will tell you that they simply prefer lenses with fixed focal lengths because it forces them to be more creative with their shots. The constraint of not being able to zoom means they have to either physically change position or find a creative way to frame their composition using the only focal length they have available. Advantages of zoom lenses. All these advantages of prime lenses might have you wondering, why would you get a zoom then? Well, there are some times that they'll work better. For example, if you're not sure what conditions you're going to be facing, or when the action is going to be very fast and you have to adapt quickly to moving subjects. Let's see where zoom lenses have the edge. Flexibility. Zoom range is by far the top advantage that zoom lenses offer, and in itself could trample all the advantages of a prime lens depending on your needs. The possibility of changing focal length without having to change the lens is amazing. You'll never miss the image of a lifetime because you were distracted changing lens. So yes, this is a big plus, but having a selection of different focal lengths in a single product will mean making compromises in aperture, price, and weight. Practicality. Having multiple focal lengths in one zoom can be very practical. For example, you don't have to plan, think, and carry multiple specific lenses that could cover all your possible needs. You can just grab your camera with your zoom lens and you're ready to go. This can be very useful when you're traveling. Ease of learning. If you're just starting in photography, it's very difficult to know what type of photos you're going to be taking the most. And even if you know, you might not know yet which focal length is ideal for that photographic genre. So having a zoom lens to start will let you try out different situations until you're ready to specialize. Overview. So in the battle of prime vs zoom lens, which is best? In truth, there's no right answer to the question of lens selection in this instance. As with many other debates, it's all about what's better for you. Most photographers end up having both zooms and prime lenses as part of their gear. Some situations might call for different needs that can be best approached with one lens or the other. There's a wide variety of lenses from each camera manufacturer and also from third parties, so you can take your pick. I do recommend that you try them out first. It's definitely a contentious topic in the photography community, so let's hear in the comments below what type of lens you prefer to keep in your camera bag. That's all for today. We hope the information provided in this video has helped you make a wise and informed decision.